10 bad habits that are actually good for you. Everyone knows that human beings are creatures of habit and routine, whether we like to admit it or not. We tend to fall into habits, and we tend to categorize those habits as either being good or bad. Well, today we're going to be talking about 10 bad habits that are actually good for you. Be sure to stick around to see what things are commonly perceived as bad for you, but are actually healthy and helpful in your day-to-day lives. This list is in no particular order, by the way. Sleeping in. First up, let's talk about the idea that oversleeping is a bad thing. Of course, you shouldn't sleep for 12 hours a day every single day, but if you're a little tired and need to catch a little extra sleep and you won't be missing out on anything important, then it's perfectly fine. Your body often knows what's best for you, so if you sleep in, it's likely because you needed it. Not getting the sleep you need can lead to a ton of various health problems, both mentally and physically. It can lower your immune system or even go as far as to make you a higher risk for heart disease. Everyone needs sleep, and some days you're going to need a little more than others. Eating foods with fat in them. I feel like it wasn't too long ago that everyone was telling you to stay away from fatty foods and to keep fat out of your diet. Well, that's actually pretty outdated in terms of dieting. According to the American Heart Association, eating fat from a variety of sources is really good for your health and can lead to a bunch of benefits. Of course, you shouldn't add too much fat to your diet, but just because something has saturated or unsaturated fats in them doesn't make them inherently bad. Foods with a lot of saturated fats are things like red meat, eggs, and milk. Whole foods that are made up of unsaturated fats and oils are things like seeds, nuts, and fish, all of which are good for you, just as long as they don't make up your entire diet. But in the case of long-term health, they can all be beneficial. Chewing gum. Anytime a teacher made me throw out my gum at school, I used to swear that it helped me focus, and they always thought I was saying that so I could keep on chewing on sugar. But nowadays, it's being more accepted around schools to allow students to chew gum, and that's because studies have been done and shown that chewing gum can not only help you focus, but can also improve memory. It was proven by researchers at Cardiff University that chewing gum can also lower stress levels. Napping. Alright, much like sleeping in, napping is something that people seem to think is lazy, when in fact it's been proven that people who power nap throughout the day tend to be more productive. Sleep is a natural thing that our bodies need, and sometimes a little 15-minute snooze is a perfect way to recharge. Napping can also help you to lower your blood pressure. This was proven by a study done by the American College of Cardiology. It showed that those who napped throughout the day showed a dip in their blood pressure, while the people who didn't nap didn't get that at all. Eating at night. One of the most common misconceptions that go around is that eating after a certain point in the day is bad for you. A lot of time, people will tell you not to eat right before bed, or eating past 8 isn't good for your health. That's all a myth. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. If your body is hungry, it's going to let you know, and you should listen to it. People also say that you'll have a hard time falling asleep after eating. Well, studies have shown that the exact opposite is true. It's actually a lot harder to fall asleep when you're hungry than it is to fall asleep on a full stomach. As long as you're not overeating, the time of day in which you consume your food makes absolutely no difference. Adding a little salt. Okay, so you definitely don't want to eat too much food that contains high amounts of salt or sodium, but adding a little salt to your food isn't as bad as you might think. Self-seasoning food is important, and yes, that includes salt. Learning what tastes good to you is almost as important as what you're actually eating. Small amounts of salt aren't bad for you, and in fact, it could sometimes help balance some things out in your body. And if you learn to make your food tasty, you'll stop relying on things like takeout as much. And the takeout, I promise you, is loaded with way more salt than what you should be putting on your food in your own kitchen. Just don't go overboard with it. Not showering every day. You don't have to shower every single day. You don't. Now, don't get me wrong. If you do something that makes you sweaty or makes you smell bad, then yes, of course, shower. But if you don't need to shower that day, you might find it more beneficial not to. You see, our bodies and our hair are covered in natural oils, and every time you wash yourself, you're stripping those away and potentially drying out and damaging your skin. This isn't saying that you should let the oils build up like crazy, but skipping a shower every now and then isn't harmful in the slightest. You might actually start thinking that your hair looks nicer and healthier after skipping one or two. Most people find the sweet spot is showering every other day, unless necessary. Killing time. A lot of us believe that we need to fill every second of every day with productive tasks. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've made myself feel guilty about taking a day off, even if it's because I'm too sick to do anything. I just feel lazy and I don't know where that comes from. And it's been proven that killing or wasting time is something that everyone needs to do every now and then. Spending time doing nothing and just relaxing is important for both the mind and the body. Our brains need a break every now and then. So sometimes letting your mind wander off or spacing out can be just what you need. Go for a walk, take in the fresh air. You need that sometimes. Swearing. One of my personal favorites on this list is swearing. For some reason, we're all raised to think that swearing or cursing is inherently bad, but it turns out that it's actually the opposite of the truth. Now, don't get me wrong, swearing can be offensive, and when using it with malicious intent, it can be hurtful. But I think SpongeBob explained it best when they referred to curse words as sentence enhancers. They're just used to emphasize a point, whether it be positive or negative. On top of that, studies have shown that swearing and cursing can not only relieve stress and let out negative emotions, but it can even improve your pain tolerance. Studies have shown that people who swear often and naturally tend to be more honest and straightforward than those who don't. Simply saying no. Another big one on this list is saying no. That's perhaps one of the hardest words for people to say nowadays, because for some reason saying no to something has been associated with being negative, when in reality it's perfectly fine to tell people no if they ask for something or if they ask you if you want to do something. There's nothing wrong with doing things for yourself and making sure that you put yourself first every now and then. Overcommitting can lead to serious mental health issues and can highly increase your level of stress. And people also need to become more accepting of no as an answer. Just because someone says no to you doesn't automatically make them your enemy. Just like if you say no to them doesn't mean anything bad. Everyone just needs a little bit of time and space now and again. Without it, your mental and physical health will likely start to decline. As you can see, not everything that we think is bad for us is actually as bad as we expect. In moderation, a lot of things can actually be quite helpful. What do you think, though? What's a bad habit that you actually believe is a healthy one? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please leave a like and be sure to subscribe in order to stay up to date on our latest uploads. Click that notification bell so that you never miss out on our latest videos. You take care now.